Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Everything with Millennials, and I'm Anthony. This podcast where we talk about whatever we want. And with me, as always, I got Mick. How's it going, Mick?
Hello.
Yeah. What's going on? No intro
Good to
today?
see you, Anthony. I'm a little tired today. Yeah, but if you do want to give us some money, be sure to sign our names on some bills before you spend them, and then if those bills run through the system and eventually end up in our hands, like via via us buying stuff at a store and then getting that bill back, like I give them a 20, they give them a 5, and I see, oh, here's a bill from a person that likes the Everything with Millennials podcast. That's what I'm looking for in terms of money.
Yeah, that's the classic Mick Martin intro that I'm looking for. Your schemes to get us money.
Yeah.
So, quick question: How do I sound right now? Is it okay? Same as usual.
You sound like $1 million.
All right, perfect. That's I'm just checking. We're having technical difficulties today, so I just make sure everything's all good.
Technical difficulties.
Well-oiled machine. All right, so I guess
I
this.
recall with Klek. Yes, go ahead.
Oh yeah, so this episode actually, we're going to so every week we've actually kind of talked about Loki in some sort of way, some sort of tied together. But this week we're actually going to lean into it. So we're just doing all Marvel. We're talking Loki, the series finale, or the season finale. Actually, we just found out. So series finale. Yeah. We're talking Black Widow and kind of all the upcoming Marvel stuff that's coming around the corner.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. First off, do you want to just jump right into Loki?
Yeah. So Loki's.
Do you want to go Black Widow first?
No, let's do Loki. So kind of like, I guess in order. They both came out that week, so kind of a big week in Marvel stuff. So let's talk Loki finale. So Loki finale. Let's start from the very beginning. New Marvel intro. Did you see that? They had the Marvel kind of like red logo kind of thing go on, but it was actually like they had different people's like voiceovers on it. So he kind of had.
Oh yes, I did notice that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it opened with the song that Steve and Peggy Carter danced to, that old timey song. So I thought that was kind of cool. It had like a whole bunch of different. Like people like Thor's, like he's a friend from work, and all that kind of stuff. Kind of rolled in.
Yeah.
So I thought that was
all the catchphrases. The people do love the catchphrases.
Yeah, exactly.
And, there was quite a few of them thrown in there. I'm sure glorious purpose will be thrown in there eventually as well.
Yeah. I just thought that was cool and worth mentioning. So it was Kang, or not mention Kang, but everyone who kind of knew that was Kang, or he was sort of like an amalgam, like kind of Marvel likes to do, right? They like to throw in all the different characters together. So he was kind of like Kang, He Who Remains, Immortus, Nathaniel Richards. He's kind of like all of those guys, right?
It was Kangatha all along.
Yeah, they did us differently this time because like usually it's not who we think it is. Like in WandaVision, we were like it's Mephisto, and we didn't get him whatsoever. And in this one, everyone's like, it's Kang, and then we got Kang. They just
sort of got Kang.
Yeah, we got
exactly Kang.
We got like the good version of Kang. So we found out that there was.
We got He Who Remains Kang, but I mean, he was, I don't know, like I felt cheated by that ending to that show. I really did. A lot of people loved it.
I liked it. It was a lot of exposition, but less lasers and punching. But I liked that a lot, actually, out of this episode, because I felt like we needed answers, and we got some of them, but then we got some.
Like we got any answers? I guess. What answers did we get? Okay, you tell me, what answers did we get? And I'm going to tell you.
We know it's Kang. That was the biggest. We basically wanted to know who's in the castle.
I guess. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we got that answer.
So that's what we were kind of predicting early on, especially with all the Kang Easter eggs in the show.
Yeah.
Like, how couldn't it have been Kang? Like, they even had like the Sphinx in the background. I don't know if you know that. Was it Ram? He called himself Ramatut. I don't know if you mentioned it in the show. I think he did. But Ramatut is a version of Kang, and he had like the Sphinx spaceship Do you remember that in the
Oh, okay.
comics?
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
No,
so that
but
there's
that
so
is
many
cool.
Easter eggs. Yeah,
Yeah.
and like the can.
I like I wanted a Kang that could take his own face off and like put it on the wall and like move it around and like be watching you from many angles and like
Yeah,
sort of the Time Lord type
yeah,
Kang,
but
right? And instead we
he's
got kind of like cosplayer Kang.
yeah. We
Um,
got like the Matrix architect Kang. That's
yeah,
basically kind of what he was.
in a purple suit. I don't
Yeah.
know, man.
It was
Uh,
great. I like Jonathan Majors, and he did a really good job. Like
Majors was pretty good, yeah.
he was the more flamboyant, I guess, Kang, versus like the evil Kang that we'll see later. He'll probably have a deeper voice and like kind of play it more evil. And he's a really good actor, so I think he'll do that. You'll see more of
I
the
guess,
different.
but I hated his plan. I hated his exposition. Like I thought that, okay, I guess we kind of do know that it was Kang, but I just felt like
We didn't.
his like his hold on the universe is really weird and doesn't make a lot of sense. And like I don't know, his decision to let Loki's kind of take over for him, I guess. Like why choose them? I mean, because they're chaos that wants the universe to be free. I just didn't. I don't know, man. I didn't buy it. It
I
didn't.
remember when the Wednesday it came out. You called me the second you finished it, and I was at work, and you're like, "Did you see it?" You didn't sound happy at all when you called me.
Yeah, yeah. I was mad, man, because like Owen Wilson didn't get a conclusion to his arc.
Yeah, but
Sylvie didn't get a conclusion to
see,
her arc.
I think one
Loki
thing,
didn't get a conclusion to her arc.
the thing that
Kang,
I think we all assumed just based on the last two Marvel series, we thought it would have wrapped up, right? Because the other two were pretty much one shots, right? So
yeah,
I assumed that Loki would be a one shot as well, and I assumed there would be a happy ending. But no, they left us hanging. We're
or
now.
just some kind of an ending, because that ending felt like a cliffhanger ending from a previous episode. It didn't feel like the show ended at all. Like,
Yeah, no, but we got Kang. We basically the season ending was we found out who he was. He gave most of the reasons, and then they set up a lot of things for season two.
I guess.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
like
they
yeah,
did. Well, they set up literally everything from season one continues into season two because nobody got an ending to anything.
yeah. Well, we
Like
got
nothing
Kang
ended.
got the ending. He's dead now. Well, this Kang.
Maybe. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe he's dead, or maybe, Sylvie stabbed him and he laughed it off and then they got married.
Well,
Like, we
it's
don't
a
actually know.
well he's dead. It's a time loop now because he dies. All of the
Hmm.
branches now because he was basically suppressing all the bad Kangs, and so that there's no that's the multiverse war that they were talking about. Like now we know about the war. It's not it wasn't what was Secret Wars. It's basically the Council of Kangs fighting each other. That was the war.
Yeah, which I think is lame. I actually prefer it to be just a chaotic mass war between all sorts of different realities and different things and ideas and whatever. Um, the idea that you could reduce the entire universe or multiverse to just a bunch of Kangs fighting. I don't know, man.
I think if you look at this in the bigger picture, it's going to be more satisfying. Like you're going to see it
I hope
in like
so.
Ant-Man and all that stuff. They're coming back in the season two, right? So we're going to go through the movies, and
Yeah.
actually tell you where in the timeline season two will actually fit in with all the movies when we kind of get to that.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I think they got lots to
Um,
build on, like Ravonna Renslayer. Like basically she knew she was a variant from whatever point because she had that pen from the school that she was a teacher, so she knew, right?
yeah. Yeah, I guess she did know. Or
She knew,
something. She knew
but like for
something.
whatever reason, she didn't care because she kept that pen from when she was a teacher or whatever.
Right. Yeah, another arc with no ending.
Yeah, no,
Like,
but that's all season two, man. That's gonna be in season, and like basically, I call in season two.
but if
She's
nothing
gonna
was
fall
in
in love
season
with like
2,
evil Kang.
yeah, maybe. But if there was nothing in season 1 that satisfied me, I don't have a lot of faith that season 2 is gonna really pull it through. Like, I just thought, like they had that glorious purpose episode that was amazing with
Yeah,
the old man Loki, right?
Croaky and
And
Croaky.
Crokey and all that stuff, and that was great and cool. And then the follow-up episode was just the guy in the purple cape talking about a plan that didn't make any sense and didn't answer any of my questions.
And you know
Like
what?
that's how I
I loved
felt.
it, and I'm along for the
Yeah,
ride,
fair
man. Like
enough.
they haven't
Yeah.
thrown me off this Marvel bus And I think
I'm not
you're
off
not.
the bus. I'm still on the bus, but I think the driver took like a weird detour. I don't know, like it's just. I would have liked to see Owen Wilson on a jet ski, or I
Yeah,
would have liked
no,
to see
I
um I would have liked to see something better than that Twilight Zone ending, or
yeah,
I would have liked to see um I mean, Loki and Sylvie having a little smooch was all right, I guess, but like,
but that.
wasn't there supposed to be some kind of consequence for them getting together? Like, it just all the friggin' threads and mysteries kind of just went.
So I think there's much more to it than what we got in the first season, and I think you're just disappointed
Yeah.
because you didn't get any of your answers. But I look at it as a bigger picture, and I can see. I think I know where they're going, and it's going to be amazing. You're going to get the wow. When you get the wow, that's going to be like twice as amazing than if you
Owen
got it.
Wilson is scheduled to return for another season of Loki. Is he?
Yep, everybody. So
Okay.
Renslayer was it B-15? She's
Okay.
coming back too.
Well,
Everybody.
if they're all coming back and there's more to it, then I'm willing to wait. But
Yeah.
I still feel like this was not a season ending.
Yeah. Well, they
This
only
was
gave us
a
6 episodes, right? Like, imagine
yeah.
if this was 12. Like, if you just take season one, season two, and you watch it as one
Man,
season, you're going to be like, this is amazing. Or if you take it in context with the movies, you'll appreciate it much more.
okay, but
And that's
the movies didn't have the amount of hours that Loki had to create a satisfying ending, and they all create relatively satisfying endings,
yeah,
right?
but I guess it's
But
easier for
Loki's
Captain America
didn't.
and the Winter Soldier or whatever to have a 6 episode satisfying ending because it's not as complicated as time travel.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. But they put that on themselves. They didn't have to. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess,
So
yeah.
I guess
Like I feel like the third act of all the WandaVision shows was actually pretty. Sorry, all the Disney Plus shows was actually pretty disappointing. Like the final episode of WandaVision, I wasn't a huge fan of. The final
loved
episode
it.
of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I wasn't a huge fan of. I didn't like
Liked it.
the ski glasses speech. Like I
Oh
just
yeah,
thought
that was kind of yeah. No, I'll give it to you on that one, but still liked it.
like the speech was fine. It was cheesy. You know, you have to do better, but it wasn't. It was very non-specific and whatever.
It was
And then the
still.
final episode of the Loki show was just like fuck. Like
Did you end up to land on that finger on purpose? You're like one. I saw you're two, and
yeah, man, that was coming out. That's right.
no, I loved
Like
all
you
of them.
can't
And
just you cannot end something that's supposed to be satisfying with a nothing ending. And like okay, if you're gonna end it with the Twilight Zone ending, that's one thing. But when you watch an episode of the Twilight Zone and it ends that way, it's like, oh, cool. With this, it was just like, oh, so we're literally back at the exact start of the
no,
story. Like, think
yeah.
about Loki. Okay, Loki's arc, he goes from the Loki at the end of the Avengers movie to the Loki who died at the hands of Thanos, basically.
Mhm.
So he goes from being a guy who we already knew he was to being a guy who we already knew he was. I mean, it
No,
doesn't go anywhere.
no, he
Like
basically became a good guy. Like you
he
root for
was
him
already
now.
that. Yeah, but he was that at the end of the Thor movie too. So it's like we have these two Loki redemptions, I guess three because of Sylvie. I don't know, man. I just
I'll tell you my only disappointment in season one is I really like Sylvie, and they kind of made her out to be a jerk in the end.
Yeah, she just like randomly stabs this guy.
and it's one thing you maybe have missed, but is the worst thing to me. It's like when it like kind of downplays the kiss because that was such a like kind of a good moment, but they kissed.
That was supposed to
But
be a cathartic moment, yeah.
but she kissed him to grab the tempad off the desk.
And then send him
And
away.
then she sent him away, killed him. So it kind of left her being jerky. But I think in next season, she'll redeem herself. Like she's gonna realize she screwed up, and she's gonna come back looking for Loki. And that's kind of because like when in the end of Loki season one, he goes back to the TVA, and basically everyone's reset. Or what I think is she doesn't know how that tempad worked, and she sent him to a parallel reality or one of the branches in where Kang didn't invent the timekeepers. He just like, screw it, I'm Kang. and we don't know which Kang this is. This might be one of the more evil Kangs.
It seems like a more megalomaniac kind of a
Yeah.
Kang, not a hidden Kang.
So we're gonna get more and more evil Kangs, I think, as time goes on, leading us all the way to like Ant-Man 3.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
So I'm just disappointed in Sylvie, but
yeah, I'm.
she's gonna come around. She needs her own
She
like
needs more.
lo-
Yeah, more time, more
yeah,
show.
her own OG Loki arc, not OG
Yeah.
like OG from Avengers 2012, because he had to come a ways, and she has to come away as well.
Yeah.
To
And
become
Owen
that.
Wilson deserves more because he's Owen freaking
Oh yeah,
Wilson.
yeah, Owen Wilson, man, he's awesome.
Yeah, like he's great in everything, and I just wanted more. I guess I just wanted more.
Yeah, no, I
Um,
that left me wanting so
that
much more, but I know it's
yeah.
coming.
But that's the thing. Like the show, it's not like it left me wanting more in the sense that I'm not interested in whatever comes next. So that's, I guess, a victory on their part. But you know,
Yeah,
I
it's not like
still
you're not like I'm done with you. Like, you're not
yeah,
there.
yeah. I'm not there. I'm not there. Not after like Game of Thrones or something. But like, if it wasn't anywhere near that level. But of bad, I mean. But like, um, with Black Widow, for example, I thought that ended, even though it took place right in the middle of the Avengers movies. They just decided to slot it in there.
Yeah,
I came away with the feeling that was a really sort of satisfying arc, right? And then they had Elaine show up at
yeah,
the end.
yeah.
Um,
Elaine, yeah, yeah. We'll talk all
recruiting
about that
people,
when we
which
get
was
into
pretty
Black
cool.
Widow.
Yeah. But like in contrast, Black Widow was, I thought, dynamite. Really,
Oh
really
wow.
good and satisfying at the ending.
Oh yeah, of course.
Acting was really good. The plot was fine. It was a little soft, but the plot, the plots of these movies are always a little bit soft, and they make up for it with the fun.
Yeah,
And the like to me, it was a little bit of a mix of like Animal Farm.
you're
With
talking about Black Widow
Snowball.
now.
Yeah, Black Widow. Yeah,
All right.
it was a little mix of Animal Farm with like a bit of Harvey Weinstein stuff thrown in there, plus some Marvel action. Anyway,
Yeah.
we can get into that in a minute. But
Yeah. So
should we talk about our favorite things about Loki then, as a show, now that it's over?
sure. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, no, you go ahead. What are your
I
favorite things about the show?
I really like Sylvie.
Sylvie, yeah,
She's
she was
you know
cool, yeah.
you know how you're really into Wanda. I'm really into Sylvie for some reason.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't know.
Wow,
She's just
I
really
mean,
cool, and I don't know. Maybe she comes off
Wanda looks like an angel.
Doctor Who-y to me. And actually
Yeah,
the
she
Loki
does, yeah.
the Loki series is really Doctor Who-y as well. Almost the same premise. Like, been running her whole life, stole a time machine, and people are after her. It's kind of like Doctor Who.
Yeah,
And the
yeah,
newest
I guess
Doctor is
it
a female as well too.
Right on. Is it her?
No. It's a different British actress.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did feel a little bit like a Doctor Who character.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that at all. Sylvie was one of my favorite parts of the show, actually. And when she first came on, I wasn't sure that was going to be the case, because I thought she might be Enchantress, and I thought
Yeah.
she might add this other layer of, not only do we have time travel, we have mind manipulation, so you're never going to know what's real or what's going to count. But they didn't go that way with her, and they made it work. They made me root for their relationship, even though it was I guess, self-cest or
Twincest.
clone-cest or
This
something.
week
I don't know
I'm
what the
calling
fuck.
it Twincest.
Twins. It's not twin because they're not twins. They're not.
Yeah, but they're like the same person. They're like twins. That's just a funny name.
They're beyond twins. Yeah,
Yeah.
but twincest is from
Yeah,
Game of
self-cest.
Thrones, right?
Twin-
Yeah,
oh, is that from
self-cest.
Game of Thrones? I just kind of
Yeah.
thought that went up.
Yeah. Yeah, because Jamie and his sister there, Cersei, were twins. Anyway, yeah. So I liked her. Obviously Hiddleston and Wilson were amazing
Oh
together,
yeah.
right?
Oh
Like,
yeah. The cast was just dynamite.
every moment Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson were on the screen together was awesome, including in that other movie. I think it was Midnight in Paris or something.
Oh, are they in
where,
another movie
like,
together?
Yeah, it's like F. Scott Fitzgerald. I think Tom Hiddleston plays F. Scott Fitzgerald, like the writer. He wrote Great Gatsby. You heard of Great Gatsby, right? The Jay-Z.
Yep.
Yeah, stuff. Yeah.
Did you say Jay-Z?
Well, Jay-Z did I think they did the soundtrack for the
Yeah.
Great Gatsby movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. Anyway, I'm just saying, they were great in that too together. Like,
Oh, I gotta
those
check
two
that out. I haven't
guys
seen
have
it.
tons of chemistry. They should date. They should be together.
Yeah, they're so good.
Yeah, they're really good, and I loved seeing them, on screen together. But I just wish that they had more
Yeah.
more time to be satisfying
Okay,
with the
so
ending.
you know, just like WandaVision, a ton was actually cut out of Loki. Just
Really,
like
Loki too?
yeah, so there's a few things. I don't know if you've seen any of the Loki series one trailers. They actually showed a scene in that trailer where he's King Loki, and that was cut out.
Huh?
Yeah, do you remember the scene? He's like kind of like arms spread out, and he's in
Yeah, yeah.
Asgard, and he's the king. That's cut out. So when they go to talk to Miss Minutes in the beginning of the episode, and she's like telling him, "You can have this, you can have this," right? That
Hmm.
so the whole episode was actually changed last minute. So the Kang like reveal wasn't supposed to be the whole episode. It was supposed to be a post-credit scene at the very end. And so the whole
Oh,
episode was supposed to be a longer version with all these other things that were cut out. So there was more Renslayer and Owen Wilson. And there was an extended
huh.
scene with Miss Minutes telling Loki and Sylvie about what they could have. And then they kind of show it to them. So he's like, you can have Asgard and you can rule. And they have this whole scene of him being King Loki and like stuff with Sylvie. And that more of the episode was supposed to be them coming to struggles with that offer more than
Right.
Kang
Yeah,
giving
because his offers
exposition.
were terrible. His offer was crap. Like, you guys run it. Like, listen, buddy. Like, I don't know why you're offering that. I don't know anything about what your capabilities are or what that offer even
But
entails. It's just such a
that
silly. But if you
that
can visualize it,
yeah.
then that helps,
But
right?
that offer was such BS too, because it was basically a test. Because at one point, I think he said that others have come and he's tested others. And you remember when they walk into that room, there's four timekeeper statues. One of them's broken. Because
Yeah.
I feel like others have come and failed,
To
and
kill him,
that or whatever, because like other Lokis have probably come, and I
and
think you're gonna
failed
get more of this in
to.
season 2. There's just
Yeah,
lots of stuff
I
in the
hope so.
background that you can kind of read into, and that's what I'm just kind of doing.
Yeah, I guess it's a lot of loose ends. A
Yeah,
lot of
tons
loose
of loose
ends.
ends. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Another
So I
thing
hope
that was
they wrap those. Okay,
yeah.
going
Oh,
on?
just
Yeah.
another thing that was cut that I thought that was kind of hilarious is remember they had Throg in the glass underneath in the dirt when they were going down into
Oh
the
yeah,
bunker.
the frog Thor. Yes, that was
So
cool. Yeah.
there's a scene cut out of the very first episode. It's Chris Hemsworth as Throg fighting Loki. They cut that out. This is a scene that they filmed.
Really? And they cut it out?
They cut that out. There's so
What
much
the
stuff.
shit?
I'm only mentioning half of the stuff or some of the most notable things
Huh.
that they did cut, but there was tons cut out. Man, Corona, man, it cut a ton of stuff out of WandaVision, cut a ton of stuff out of Loki. Yeah, it was filmed during like the pandemic. You saw that picture I sent you, right? It's got Kang wearing a mask.
Yeah, you know what though? But they were able to find actors that had good chemistry together. Even Mackie and what's his name?
Oh, Sebastian Stan.
Sebastian Stan. Yeah, I didn't think their chemistry of like between Bettany and Wanda or Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen and Loki and Wilson and I guess Sylvie. I think the least charisma between anyone was Mackie and Stan, but it still wasn't bad.
Yeah, it's
They
still
still
decent.
had
You still got
yeah
that
they
buddy
still
cop
had
vibe,
chemistry. Yeah, yeah, that's right. They were still pretty good actually.
and the
So
jokes is like,
yeah, like so I would say of them, I wouldn't say that I would say that they're third place or fourth place, whatever. But like not bad though. You know what I mean? Not
mhm.
bad. So the
And
Disney
that's
did get that out of this, like good
that's
charisma.
the thing with Disney. Like even when they're worse, they're not bad.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like Thor: The Dark World, for example, when
Yep,
people say
that's what comes to mind when you.
it's not that bad. Like I don't know. People crap on that movie. People have been crapping on the first Thor movie too. I like those movies. I
Yeah,
think
or
they're
that's
all
where
right.
he's really Point Break because he's got the bleached eyebrows. They're blonde, super blonde.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I don't know. I thought it was fine. I thought, yeah, people want specific things. The only thing that bothered me about Thor: The Dark World, that really bothered me about it, was the fight at the end when that thing like falls on him and that's supposed to kill him. I just didn't think. Felt like it wasn't that great. And I also felt like the actor they got to play the Dark Elf, that actor is an awesome. Like he was in Gone in 60 Seconds, and he's been in a bunch of different stuff. And I felt like he should have got more fat to chew. You know what I mean? More.
Hmm.
There should have been more focus on him as a villain building his character, building his arc, building up to that final fight with Thor. I didn't feel like there was enough of that. Maybe a little bit too much focus on Natalie Portman, but
Oh yeah.
um, otherwise, though, I thought Thor: The Dark World was pretty damn good. And
Yeah, they were kind of figuring it out, kind of still, because the first Thor was more sandbox, right? Because they were just in that one little town.
yeah, man. I thought that first Thor was great.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought, this drink, I like it. Another,
another as I'm holding a
and he
drink.
smashes it on the ground, right? And like just his cultural adjustment stuff, the fish out of water stuff. That stuff's funny. They did a good job with it.
Yeah, no, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. And they've really Marvel's leaned more into the comedy in more recent movies, but they can still do like the more serious stuff still once in a while. But a lot of their stuff ends up being more comedic. But I'm that kind of guy, so I love it, and I think most
yeah. I
people
think
are too.
to be honest, Ant-Man might be my favorite Marvel movie. I loved Ant-Man. I love
Ant
both
Man
of them.
one.
Ant-Man 1, yeah. I love those movies. I love the way that they play with the shrinking and the growing
Yeah,
stuff and
yeah. Is that your jam?
Paul
Shrinking
Rudd
and
and stuff.
growing? I'm not trying to make a sexual joke. I'm just saying.
Yes, you are. You did.
No,
You
I'm not
definitely
though. I
did.
was just gonna say like time travel's my jam. So if you throw time travel in anywhere, I'm there. So maybe that's why I loved Loki so much.
Oh,
It's
maybe,
really
yeah.
confusing and it makes you think. Like you got to like think out their logic and because
Yeah.
almost anything can happen with time
Yeah,
travel.
that's right. Yeah, anything can. Well, I also had my own expectations for what I wanted Kang to be, and I had my
Yeah.
expectations for how I felt about Marvel time travel already. So
Hmm.
I went into that episode sort of needing certain boxes to be checked that weren't, and
So
maybe that makes it
so if
unfair.
you had a more mysterious Kang, like if the Kang thing ended up being a post credit scene, would you have been more happy? Do you think if the way I described it?
Probably,
Yeah.
probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Rather
It's
than just
funny.
having them sit at a table with
Yeah. Well, I
and
love
chat.
just watching Jonathan Majors do his thing. I thought he was good, and I think he'll do good as the other versions
Yeah,
of Kang. Like
yeah.
we're gonna see Ramatut, maybe. Like so many possibilities. It like opened up to things I didn't even think of, and that's where they went. And that's why I know that's why I guess I just dug it so much. Because
Yeah,
like you've
fair
heard the
enough.
things we've been saying for the last few weeks and the things that we thought were going to happen. We
Yeah,
honestly thought we were going to get a happy ending with jet skis and wows all around.
yeah, or something along those lines, right? Like at
Yeah.
least something.
Well, we knew
Um,
something major was going to happen at the end. That's going to
is
affect the
is
universe,
that a
right?
pun on the actor?
What? What was the pun?
Is that a pun about the actor? What was his name?
Oh,
Jonathan Majors?
Major. Jonathan
Yeah,
Majors, yeah.
something majors
No, that
happened.
wasn't not intended.
More puns, full of jokes and puns. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you know, he he came in and he strikes me as a very good actor. He seems like he did exactly what they told him to do. I'm just not super stoked about it. Um, I agree, and I really hope that we do get a more menacing Kang in the future
Oh,
because what's
for
his name?
sure.
Josh
Kang the
Brolin
Conqueror.
was
Oh,
dynamite.
Josh
Yeah,
Brolin, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he
But
was
then
good.
again, a lot of Marvel villains are underwhelming, right? So they knocked it out of the park with Thanos, but like for example, Ironmonger at the end of Iron Man 1, the dude there, he could have been a much more interesting villain, but he just goes nuts at the end and like hops in a suit and just goes crazy. And I don't know. I thought that like he could have just went and got a lawyer. Like, and I get that like people are like, oh, that makes it for a boring story. But then if you just flesh it out, if you just take the time to get that to get him in that suit for a better reason, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. That's kind of how I felt about that. Or like the Captain Marvel villain, for example, who was just sort of nothing, I guess, nobody really. I mean, maybe it was her buddy there, who she wound up having the non-fight
Jude
with at
Law.
the end. Jude Law, yeah. Like there's a lot of examples. Like they did a really good job with Loki as a villain. They did a really good job with Thanos as a villain. They did a really good job with Yellow Jacket. I thought Yellow Jacket was actually pretty terrifying.
Oh yeah.
Um,
But he was
and
almost like a standard Tony Stark villain,
he
He
kind of
just
was, yeah. But he was.
he just
I
fights
thought he was.
guys with tech.
I thought he was awesome at it though. Like I thought that they
Oh
had a
yeah,
good
no doubt, he was good,
like
but
explanation for why his brain wasn't functioning right because he was using this technology on himself, and that's why he was behaving that way. And I just thought it was good. Like I thought it was consistent. Um, you know what I mean? And like there's a few other guys who I thought kind of stole the show as villains. What's his name there? Winter Soldier
oh
was an
yeah,
excellent villain for a
yep,
little bit. So yeah, there's been a few of them. Red Skull. Red Skull was awesome.
yeah.
So they've had a few really good ones, but not this time, in my opinion.
Okay, so you're pretty much disappointed with Kang, or sorry, I was gonna say Kang season one, Loki season one,
I mean, I'm disappointed with the last episode. I'm
just
not
the last
disappointed.
episode.
I'm not disappointed with what they built. I think they built a strong foundation
Oh
for
yeah, that's
something
what,
that could eventually have
and
a good,
yes,
satisfying ending, but does not currently at this time.
and I think that's my point. That's the foundation, man. Like they're building up to something good. It's just like how they built up 10 years just to get to Infinity War. It's like that
Yeah.
they put in the Disney puts in the work. They
That's
don't
true.
DC it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's right. They don't. Not usually. But with Kang, yeah, I think having him in a teaser trailer or something like that would have been good.
Yeah, yeah. Post credit
Having
scenes and
him, but we got a whole episode of Kang chatting, not being intimidating, really. And
but he's not the intimidating Kang, and I think that's what they're trying to convey.
I know, I
But because
know,
the next
I
time you
know.
see him, he's gonna be like, "Whoa, this guy's different." Than and they're really trying to play up the.
But
They're
not
getting
even a
actor.
hint of it.
Yeah,
There wasn't even really a hint of how
I guess you
strong
like
and
the
powerful this
mystery
guy
more
was.
than this, but I think, like I said, big picture, it's gonna be awesome.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Well, let's go on to WandaVision now.
WandaVision.
I mean, sorry.
Yeah, we're gonna go Black Widow, but
Keep
actually,
saying
I
that.
gotta. Now that you mentioned WandaVision, I got kind of a theory that people are throwing around online. So at the very
Okay.
end of Loki season one, where Sylvie kills Kang, so they're
Yeah.
saying that lines up with the end scene of WandaVision, where she starts hearing her kids. So basically, the second Sylvie kills Kang, and that allows the branches to form. So then now her kids
Now
are in
Wanda can
another.
see into the
So
branches. Yeah,
yeah,
that's cool.
exactly. So that's one of the kind of theories,
Yeah,
and it
that's
seems
cool.
everything seems plausible.
My friend, when I was out for drinks last night, my friend had a theory that all it was every floor. What there was another variant of Owen Wilson, so Loki was just on the wrong floor when he got back. It's like
Oh my
floor
god, that's
one,
amazing!
right?
That would
Yeah,
be
floor
so good.
floor one is like this TVA, and then floor two is this other TVA, and they're identical except like slight differences.
That would be
I think that would
hilarious.
be really cool too.
Council
Yeah,
of Owen Wilsons.
Owen Wilson's. Yeah.
Council of Mobiuses.
Wow, whoa, wow,
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 surround
wow,
sound.
wow,
Oh man,
wow.
that'd be
Yeah,
so
yeah.
good.
All the different people who do impersonations of Owen Wilson, like that one SNL actress. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That would be cool. I mean, yeah, his idea was awesome. Some of the people
yeah,
who don't read the comics and don't know what they're going for come up with some really creative outside of the box ideas that might have been
yeah,
better than the ones the comic book
yeah.
authors actually made up, but
But
whatever.
also, if you don't read the comics or even know of these characters, when Jonathan Major shows up on screen, most people will probably just like, "Huh? Who's that?"
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly.
Maybe it's
And I
one of the
and I
reasons they didn't even say his name because they don't want to confuse people
yeah.
by just
Yeah.
saying his name.
He's like, I've had a lot of names. Ba, 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 ba. I'm the Wizard of
Yeah,
Oz.
yeah,
But like yeah, for I had an expectation, so that's unfortunate.
yeah.
It's
Well, we'll
always
see.
unfortunate
We'll
when
see in
expectations
season
can
two.
be turned
Hopefully,
into clouds.
me and Disney get you back, Mick.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm
So,
sure you will.
okay. So Loki is in.
Mhm.
The Hollywood Reporter has reported that Loki is supposed to be in the next Doctor Strange movies, and
That's awesome.
That's March 25th, 2022. Okay. So then yeah,
That's
that's when it's coming
forever.
out. So then Ant-Man Quantumania is set to come out February 17, 2023. So that's when you're going to see like the big evil Kang the
When is the
Conqueror.
Spider-Man coming out with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and our new man Tom
And that
Holland?
comes out December. But so listen to this. So
this December.
That's this December. Yes.
Okay,
and
so
we'll get to that. We have
shit.
Yeah, I got all the movies, and we're gonna kind of go through all of them. But so listen to this. So Doctor Strange comes out March 25th, 2022. So that has Loki in it. And then in February 17, 2023, that's when you get the big bad evil Kang. So that means Loki season 2 has to fit in between those two movies, because we have to get kind of that stuff all kind of wrapped up and lead us to Kang the Conqueror. Yeah. And Loki's in Doctor Strange. So that's where we're going to see. So next year sometime after March, it could be March, and it could be anywhere in that big time gap.
Yeah,
so,
time gap. Okay.
But that's where it's going to kind
of. That's where they already started filming the new season of Loki.
No, they haven't. They're going to start maybe soonish, but that's where it has to sit, just because of Kang and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. For the timeline stuff, yeah. Okay.
Did you know we talked
sitting
about
somewhere in the timeline? I think that's a perfect segue to WandaVision, no?
You mean Black Widow?
Black Widow.
Why do you keep calling her?
Why do I keep saying that?
You know we've talked.
Black Widow did have WandaVision magic in it. It felt like it did. Like that red mist that would fall on those girls' faces and make them not listen to the Weinstein guy. Like,
throw some Jello in your face. Now you're not mind controlled.
Now you're free. That mist looked just like Scarlet Witch mist. Yeah, sure.
Hey, that did look like that.
Elizabeth Olsen's dandruff when she dyes her hair red, and that's what it looks like, and it cures your brain because
I think this will probably be the longest episode ever. We're really gonna get in the weeds of this Marvel stuff. We talked about Loki. One episode of Loki that was only like 40 minutes for as long as the show has like that episode is the same length that we've been talking for. So we basically talked through the whole episode. But that's okay. This is our Marvel episode. We can do whatever we want.
We're all friggin' our Marvel episode. Anyway, go on. Next one.
Yeah, so let's talk about Black Widow. So this came out the same week as Loki, and I saw it literally immediately. I was like, yes, play midnight.
I had intended to see it in the theater, but unfortunately I didn't get the chance.
So we were talking about this last week, and you were going to go to the theaters because theaters opened up here in Ontario, and so they opened on Friday, and then you planned to go all weekend, but never made it out.
That's right. Yeah, I just didn't end up making it. Yeah.
So you ended up just watching it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I watched it that way.
So
I really wish that I'd gone to see it in the theaters, and I still might.
You know what? I still might too. I've seen every single Marvel movie in a theater, just like you have, and this is the first one I haven't seen the first showing in a theater, but I didn't mind.
And so I didn't mind, but I thought it was such a great movie that I really wished that I had seen it in the theater because it seems worthy of a theatrical release.
Oh, for sure. You just watched it literally just before we came on this podcast, so it's super fresh in your mind. You have like that walking out of the theater feeling right now because you just saw it.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Because when you just see something and you want to talk about it for the next at least half an hour after you see it, that's what you've got going on right now, and I'm kind of jealous because I only saw it once so far, and I do want to see it again.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that the blonde mini widow was pretty
Yelena Belova.
Yelena Belova. So she's the new Black Widow? Is that what it is?
Yeah, and I have lots of thoughts and theories, as I always do. So Yelena Belova,
right? And she's like
she's not the power broker. Power broker is the blonde girl.
She can't be the power broker. I think that they got to retcon. They got to change that because her being the power broker doesn't make sense. Why would she?
No, the girl from Falcon and Winter Soldier is
I know
Peggy Carter's daughter, or not daughter,
niece Carter, wee Carter. Yeah, she's the power broker. I don't like it. I don't know. I don't like her as the power broker. I prefer to think of what's her name as the power broker, Veep there. Elaine from Seinfeld, Cassandra Nova. No,
it's Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. That's her full name.
Yeah, the Contessa. That's right. I remember her from the comics. Yeah, Contessa Allegra. She was pretty cool actually in the comics.
Yeah. Every time I see her, I'm just Elaine. It's like, what does Elaine want with everybody?
Like, you can't have that. Like, oh my God. Like, Contessa, Peggy Carter. I don't know. What Sharon Carter is not giving orders to
Sharon Carter.
Venice. Never.
Yeah.
Like,
like Julia Louis-Dreyfus is the senior actress. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, and I don't
yeah.
mean senior in like an old way. I mean
No, no,
like
no. I get you.
like
She's
in
like
the she's the
she got street cred.
exactly. Like if you put
It's
Leonardo
like
DiCaprio
respect, and
in a
she's that character
movie
as well.
with yeah, exactly. With just about anybody, it's like there's Leo. Like the movie's pretty much about him whether you want it to be or not. And that's what Julia Louis-Dreyfus is like. Like
Yeah,
it's about her whether you want it to be or not.
yeah.
So make it about her, you know.
So
Anyway.
best thing about Black Widow to me was Florence Pugh. That's the Yelena Belova. She was amazing. Like she was pretty much the
Mhm.
comedy of the movie, but she played it so well. And so I got a question. So she's actually a British actress, and
Mhm.
she does like the Russian accent. How long do you
Yeah.
think that Russian accent is gonna last in the Marvel universe? Just
10
like
seconds.
Wanda's,
Like
just like Wanda's, right?
it's
Remember
gone.
Wanda?
Yeah.
She had like a, and then
She
every
had a
movie you saw her and she
Sokovian
lost it.
accent.
Now she's just American.
Yeah, I know. Now she's just Elizabeth Olsen, which I prefer. I
Yeah.
like her better with her American accent anyway, and she's magic, so I hope she just
And she's
loses it.
magic.
Yeah. So you like, well, if you have magic, okay, I feel like that means that you can do pretty good impersonations. And that's all
That's
a
what that
good
means.
accent is, right? If you've got magic, you can probably make your voice sound
So
however
Doctor
good you
Strange
want.
is the best impersonation artist there is.
Doctor Strange, he could go British. I mean, he could. It would be fine, you know? Like,
Because he is.
yeah, because he is. Yeah. Like, I don't know. That's what I thought anyway.
Yeah.
Like Kang having an American accent, I thought was kind of interesting for a second. I was like, huh.
What you
So
thought
the
he was
guy at
gonna
the end of the
have?
world is an American. I don't know. For some reason, I thought he would be British.
I
Like,
guess you one of those
yeah.
menacing British like
Yeah.
villains,
Hello. Oh,
like
I'm
James in
Kang. I
James
am.
Bond.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So tell me about like Black Widow. Like, what did you really like about it? What didn't you like?
Um, I thought it was cute that they were making fun of the posing.
Yeah, that was one of the funniest parts to me. It's like,
That
you know
was
that
funny.
thing with the hair.
Yeah,
And then she does the pose like copying like Black Widow, and then that scene in the end where she does it by accident. She's like, ew.
Yeah, yeah. She
I
didn't
thought
like
that
it,
was
yeah.
so good. I died.
I thought that they did they did a great job right off the jump, being like, this is like a little family unit, and they're running away from something, and that immediate sort of bond you have for this group as a family came out pretty strongly right away when they showed them running away from the police and doing all this different stuff to protect one another, keep one another safe, and to escape
Yeah, that was a
from the
cool scene
problem
where
that
you
they
see
were.
them in the '90s or whatever. You know, it's funny.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought Scarlett Johansson looked like a boy there. I thought that was a boy.
I thought it was a boy too. Yeah,
And then I was
think
like, wait a
that's actually
second.
what ScarJo looked like as a kid. I think she said that in interviews. She's like, yeah, like when I was, in elementary school, nobody thought I was going to be this like super
Super hot
pretty
smoking.
movie star. Yeah, like the hottest woman in our society or whatever, like that everybody's supposed to look up to. And I thought that was actually really cool. I thought that the kid versions they picked of them, you could see that one girl felt
Yeah.
like sort of becoming Scarlett Johansson, right? Like you could see her eventually being
Oh yeah,
ScarJo.
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Like the
when she
kind of the
grows up and
reddish.
stuff.
Oh, she had green hair or something, didn't she? In
Yeah, she
the
had green hair, but just her nose, the way her nose and her facial
Yeah.
features were and stuff like that. Like, she had like a bald ScarJo or like a boyish ScarJo. She looked the right way. And what's his name there from Stranger Things? The
David Harbour.
David Harbour.
Yeah, he
Red
was
Guardian.
great as Red Guardian.
Red Guardian's, he's a Captain America guy, and he's great. Yeah, he was awesome as Red Guardian. He really was, as that like washed up superhero, trying to do the best he could. He was kind of like a mirror universe version of Steve Rogers, right? He was like
Yeah, like a
this poor
Russian
kid
version.
from whatever, probably from a collective farm somewhere in the Soviet Union, winds up getting pulled out just the way Steve Rogers was pulled out as a kid from Brooklyn, and he happens to be a pretty good person. So the super soldier formula, probably made him jacked as a young man, and then he got fat as he got older, but he still had some of
Yeah.
the powers. And like, yeah, because he was a good guy, it didn't turn him into a Red Skull type person. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, but I got one. I guess one thought that came up. You know, when he's in the jail and he's talking about he fought Captain America in like 1984.
That was cute. Yeah, that was
It's
funny.
like how like other than being a liar, which he doesn't really seem like he is. Well, he's a Russian spy, but
He was definitely lying. Yeah.
but no, but like how would that be possible? Do you think it's a kind of Steve Rogers returning the time stones kind of shenanigans, and something that we'll see, something we might see in the future?
Maybe.
You know how Marvel will just drop those little gems there. You might miss them, but then later they pay them back.
Yeah.
So this might be one of
Yeah,
those.
that's right. Yeah. So yeah, that's a cool little tidbit. He could be lying, or they might
So we
just have
we
that.
could see Steve Rogers again, like fight him at some point in another
Yeah.
movie, and that I think
Yeah.
that would be friggin' awesome.
That would be really awesome.
Or it's just
Although
wishful
the
thinking.
Loki show kind of took away a lot of the. Like, I was really hoping that show would explore some of the alternate timelines that
Yeah,
seemed to be created in the Avengers movie, like with
yeah,
Cap whispering "Hail Hydra" and with Tony giving his dad a hug, and Cap, going back with Peggy Carter and dancing and all that
Yeah.
stuff. I was hoping that the Loki show would
yeah.
zoom in on that stuff a little bit, but no.
Maybe if we had
It's
24 episodes or something of Loki season 1, maybe we could have got more of that filler stuff that we would really appreciate. But they're just
a lot
like
of it
6
was filler
episodes.
already. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
They had to make a tight 6 or whatever. Or they only had like 250 million to like blow on 6 episodes.
Oh yeah, only had the 250 million.
Well, that's cheaper than the movie because that's what they would spend on a 2-hour movie. But then, now
Yeah.
that you take it and you spread it over 6 or 9 episodes, then
Yeah, I guess.
visual effects ain't cheap, Mick.
There wasn't a lot of VFX in Loki, though, was there? Not that I mean, there was that big monster thing.
Everything is VFX. Like
Yeah,
everything, they use VFX now for things you don't even think are VFX.
Well, maybe they shouldn't if it costs so much damn money. Anyway, but back to Black Widow. Yeah, I thought that ScarJo's characterization of her was pretty good. I thought that it fit pretty well in the timeline.
I think this is a movie they should have dropped right after Civil War.
Yeah,
just to
it
bridge the
definitely
gap
should have
because
come
it
out
fits
then, yeah.
perfectly in that spot. Like it's what she was
Well, not
doing
quite
before she
perfect.
kind of went. It pretty much does because it's like she's on the run. Thunderbolt Ross is after her, and that's right after Civil War, and then it leads right up into right before she hooks up with Captain America, Vision, and all them. Right before you see her again, and that's where she gets her vest from. Right, she gets it from Florence or
Oh yeah, it
Yelena.
shows where
She got the
in
vest.
that
It's
movie
so many
from.
pockets.
Yeah,
that was good.
yeah.
Man, all her
that
scenes
was
were dynamite. Like everyone.
Yeah,
Like,
she was
'cause-
really good.
Florence Pugh, man, like she's another one of those ones. I'm like, right now, like
So was Rachel
Sil-
Wise. Rachel Wise was awesome.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
awesome.
Rachel
in
Wise was
everything.
good too, as the mother figure,
Yeah, yeah.
and it was great that she ended up being a good character, even though
Yeah.
she was like, she turned on the Red Room and everything. That was great.
She looked great in those costumes too. Like I don't know how old Rachel Wise is, but she still looks amazing. Like wow. Can you imagine being married to a woman like her? Like Jesus. I mean, yeah. Anyway.
And so another one in there. So tell me, how did you like Taskmaster? This is something I think might divide
this
people.
is probably controversial because Taskmaster is a dude in the comics.
Yeah, because
right?
he's in the comics. He's Tony Masters, and basically he can like mimic anyone's power. So in this one, it ends up being the villain's daughter.
villain.
That's the red on the ledger that Scarlett Johansson always is talking about. She blew up a
Yeah.
little girl, but then she became Taskmaster.
Yeah. I feel like ScarJo must have killed more people than that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I
Yeah,
mean,
well, I'll get to this, but let's
Black
keep talking
Widow.
about Taskmaster. How did you feel about her?
Well, I loved the scene on the bridge. I loved the parachuting scene. I thought the scene in the office was awesome. I think every moment with Taskmaster in this movie was good. If you're pissed that
It
they
was someone
changed
else.
Taskmaster's sort of secret identity to a totally different person, you could at least be happy that they kept the action characterization.
Yeah. Yeah,
stuff.
like she basically watched all the
right?
Avengers movies and got all their powers just by watching. She had like
was a bit
Black
like
Panther's
Captain
like
America.
claws. She had the Captain America's like moves with the kicking up the shield and all that. It was really good. She had all the fighting abilities of like Black Widow.
Yeah. And the way that scanning thing went across her face and everything like that. I thought it was awesome. Would I have preferred it to be a little bit closer to what it was in the comics? Take it or leave it. Taskmaster for me was always a character that I was shocked ever made it anywhere. Like, he's got a stupid name. Taskmaster is a stupid fucking villain. Okay, people might like it, fine, but it's a stupid name. Like, Kang the Conqueror is a better goddamn name.
Yeah.
Thanos is a better name. Magneto's a better name. Juggernaut's a better name. There's tons that are better. Taskmaster's a stupid goddamn name, and they did right by, like, they made it awesome. Like, they made it really cool and
but
better than it could have been.
But here's the thing with Taskmaster. So what happens is she basically gets uncontrolled, right? So she's like kind of a free personality.
Yeah.
She, I guess, looks like she has sort of forgiven Black Widow.
WandaVision dandruff.
So technically, she's kind of a good character now. She's free to do whatever we want. So basically, I think now she could give up the Taskmaster mantle. Now it's basically, it's a mantle, right? So someone else can pick it up. So we could now throw this into Tony Masters, and he could pick it up and become Taskmaster in the future. There's always ways.
Could transition to be a man. Maybe it could be the first trans, and then, like, why not, right? If people really want Tony Masters. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of Tony Masters fans out there. Not me, man. I don't give a shit. I think the way that they used Taskmaster was just fine. So,
okay. I thought you might have more strong opinions about
not really,
him
no,
not being a guy or not being the Tony Masters from the comics.
Yeah, well, sometimes the movies do the stuff that they do in comics better. Not always, not often, but sometimes. This is one of those cases where it's pretty close to better. Maybe not better, but right there. And for example, I think Thanos is a little bit better in the MCU than in the comics. In the comics, he's just like, he's this crazy guy who's in love with Lady Death and
it drives the yellow helicopter.
And his plan is like unmake the universe, remake the universe. And he drives a yellow helicopter. Right. Yeah, exactly. Right. So like,
they make him less
silly stuff there.
Less corny.
Mm-hmm. Right. They made him less corny.
Just like with the uniforms.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
We don't get no purple Hawkeye, but there's still lots of time for that to
happen. Right. Yeah. I don't know. I thought Kick-Ass to me is the perfect example of a movie being better than the comic, in my opinion. Like, I enjoyed the Kick-Ass graphic novel. I thought it was pretty good, but I thought the movie was dynamite. It was awesome.
What did you think about when they made Because I read all 100 issues of Civil War, the comic.
Okay.
And so when they came to the movies,
I read a lot of it. I don't know.
How did you feel about that story adaptation?
Okay, so I think that the comic version is like a trillion times better than the movie version.
Yeah. There's one scene that I remember in the comics so it's like Wolverine. No, was it? No, someone, who was it, goes down to see Namor and they're trying to convince them of something. And then I think it's like Wolverine was actually in this. Oh no, it was Iron Man went down to talk to Namor to convince him of something, and then they started fighting, and then it wasn't actually Iron Man, it was Wolverine. So its claws came out of the Iron Man suit, and then he found out that was sick. I thought that was baller. Do you remember that scene? That issue?
I can't remember it very well, but that sounds.
It just sticks in my head for some reason. I thought that was badass.
I really remember what I remember most from Civil War was the relationship between Spider-Man and Iron Man.
Yeah, they had a whole Spider-Man thing where he revealed his identity, but you couldn't do that in the movie because everyone else knows who everyone is, right? Steve Rogers.
Exactly. Yeah,
it's Tony Stark.
The Civil War comic was not adaptable. Couldn't be adapted.
No.
So
not with the current Marvel universe how it stood at the time.
Exactly, right? It couldn't be. But to have them fight one another and to do it the way they did it, I thought was okay. It was pretty good. It was a good-ass movie.
And you couldn't because you didn't have Wolverine at the time. You didn't have Punisher. All these other like sub-characters. Like Fantastic Four was a big part of Civil War too.
Most of Civil War wasn't there in the MCU, right? Most of the people who were fighting each other.
So at the time they had to make do with what they had to make the story work.
So it almost wasn't even really an adaptation of the Civil War. It was more an adaptation.
More
of
like they took the name.
Yeah.
Everyone's
like
gonna fight, and it's called Civil War.
Right, yeah, because the Avengers would disassemble and have fights against one another all the friggin' time without it being called Civil War. You know what I mean? Like the Avengers broke up and got back together with new rosters fucking constantly, just like the JLA, just like all the comic book hero teams, except Fantastic. Even the Fantastic Four had a rotating membership, less so. Like everybody knows who the Four are supposed to be, but they have had other guys fill in for the Thing. Or fill in for Mr. Fantastic. Or
the Avengers have been the biggest revolving door in the comics. Everyone has been Avenger, basically.
Yeah, and the Avengers have fought other Avengers many, many times, right? So, you know what? The X-Men is the biggest revolving door in the comics. Come on.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
X-Men.
Because that's a more broader term, kind of, right? It's not like an official group. Like it's like you are an X-Men. Or basically if you're just a mutant, kind of.
Then you could pretty much be an X-Men. Yeah, it's not a broad group because there are...
Yeah,
you get an official thing,
you
get a little phone or something.
You get this yellow spandex.
Yeah, you get the spandex or whatever from Professor Xavier. You dress how he wants you to dress. You're an X-Men. If you don't, you're not. So
you gotta wear the one that says trainee.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The crop top that says trainee. Not only is it yellow, not only does it say trainee, it's a crop top.
Yeah. Professor X, like he must find the way that people look at one another when they are in these costumes to do something to his brain that he likes or whatever, right? And that's kind of how I get into his head. But anyway,
I think we're extremely off topic. Let's talk more, I guess, about Black Widow.
Yeah, let's get back to Black Widow.
Your overall opinion. It sounds like you love Black Widow. I guess way more than Loki.
Way more than the final episode of Loki.
Yeah.
No, I thought it more than Loki. I think actually I did. Yes, I did like it more than Loki. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love both just as much. Black Widow had awesome action scenes, had good jokes for me. Like it tied into the universe more, which I really liked. Like you just got more backstory.
Great moments with Scarlett Johansson too, where she got to act and sort of show off her chops and what she can do, which was pretty.
Yeah,
cool.
She finally got her own movie, right? That's a long time coming. Like the original 6, she's the last person to get a movie.
No, Hawkeye.
Oh yeah, Hawkeye. Oh, he's getting a TV series though.
They gave him a teaser, right? Because they're bringing Hawkeye into. You saw when what's her name came in, when Elaine came in there.
So you want to talk the post-credit scene?
Yeah. When Contessa showed up.
Yeah. So basically the post-credit scene. Yelena is chilling at the. Oh yeah, this whole episode spoilers. I don't have to preface any of this because the whole episode.
You should just call spoilers with millennials.
Come here if you want to get ruined for the Marvel universe. Yeah, but basically the post-credit scene, Yelena was at Natasha's grave site, and then Elaine pulls up, and basically she's giving her a mission or offering her to go kill Clint Barton for whatever her nefarious reasons are.
Yeah.
So she's like, kill this guy. Look at his hair. He must die. Look at who kind of hillbilly mohawk is this?
Look at this asshole. Oh my god, we gotta kill him. He totally hates women. No, but I want to talk a little bit more about how the plot to that movie was very similar to the plot from Animal Farm, in that Snowball rounded up a bunch of orphans, right? Like the king pig in Animal Farm, the king communist or whatever, the guy who represented Stalin, I think they called him Snowball. He collects a bunch of like little dogs, puppies that are like lost dogs, the way that this guy collected lost women, and then utilize them, turn them to a sort of nefarious purpose, right? Like of world domination and whatever else.
Oh yeah.
He was a bit of his own one man Hydra, that dude, right?
Yeah, I forgot his name, but that guy. The old guy.
Yeah, Red Room leader.
Red Room leader 1.
We might as well just call him Weinstein, like Marvel Weinstein. You know what I mean? He was like an evil Weinstein dude. Like, do you think that he wasn't up there doing weird sex stuff with all those women? Like, he probably was, man. He was probably an evil, sick. Like, if he's evil enough to murder tons and tons of people, he's probably evil enough to assault all the women that are supposed to be under his charge. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Um, yeah. So that guy, anyway. So the Marvel Weinstein got killed. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, uh, he was a good villain too. I felt that his motives
Yeah.
was that of a standard Hydra villain,
Yeah.
but um, and I was actually hoping that it might get a little more in depth and complicated and interesting when Stranger Things guy was mentioning, like I was sold something about communism and I believed in blah 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 ideology and this and that, right? But then that all turned to BBS. Like I thought they were going to get into some of that more, but they didn't, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, do you want to know what I thought was the biggest disappointment of the Black Widow movie? If I had to pick one thing to like kind of nitpick,
Okay.
I was disappointed in the Budapest like kind of explainer. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
I fully expected going to this movie that I would get Hawkeye and like Natasha in the past in Budapest, and we'd get kind of an explainer of what actually happened in Budapest. But all we got was the Budapest safe house with arrow things in the background. You know, that's all we got.
Budapest. Yeah.
I wish
yeah,
we got
yeah.
more explainer there because they've been hyping it up for like a decade, right?
I know. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I
Maybe,
hadn't even thought of that. I was like, oh, neat. Like
yeah.
this is kind of where that
right
was or whatever.
right from the very first Avengers movie, and then in the all the other Avengers movie, they always talk about Budapest, and I'm like, so I was like, okay, there's something awesome here. I thought, or at least make it a joke, like you know how like Nick Fury, everyone's always asking about his eye, and he's like, last time I trusted somebody, I lost an eye, and then you found out what it was, and it was just a cat scratch.
Cat scratch, yeah. And that was lame though. That was
No,
not
I thought
great.
that was hilarious.
It was funny, but
You wanted it to be like a badass story where he loses his eye. I think at one point they
I
were
don't know.
thinking of making a Nick Fury movie, and that would give you the badass reason why he. But
I
then
think a Nick Fury movie would have been awesome.
but then they passed that point where he probably wanted to do it, so they just made it a cat scratch.
Right, yeah, fair enough, yeah. But I mean, the Captain Marvel movie was practically a Nick Fury movie. He was the second
Yeah,
lead,
he
I
was in
think,
there.
right? Like,
Yeah,
he was in it a lot. So I would watch a Nick Fury movie where he is like coordinating the different teams. So he's like
yeah.
got the Avengers on one line doing stuff there, and then he's talking to Spider-Man on the other line, and then he's talking to like the X-Men or whoever else is in the MCU. Like
And then
Ant-Man
he
or
turns
something.
over and shoots Ned with a dart gun.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like he's just so fucking busy, this guy. Like he's
Yeah.
always doing stuff.
I don't know if we're gonna get any
I
more
thought it
Sam
was
Jackson
funny.
in the Marvel universe. I
Why
don't
not?
hear of any things like popping off with him in the future. But maybe
I
he'll
hope he-
probably just come
he was
back
in-
randomly.
Well, he was in the Spider-Man movie recently. He was
Yeah.
in Far From Home.
But he's not like in it like he used to be. You know, he used to be in like everything and like kind of in charge of everything.
Yeah, and yeah, he wasn't in. Leaving him out of Civil War was kind of bizarre. I think it
Yeah.
was just because they didn't want to pay him, and they could get the actor who played Thunderbolt Ross for less.
And
money,
they're already
right?
paying everyone else millions of dollars to be in
Yeah.
that movie.
Yeah, right. Because it was such a big ensemble movie that it was probably pretty difficult to get Sam in it. But I don't know. Yeah, I hope he comes back. I hope he's in everything. Like I love him in pretty much everything he does, and he is awesome as Nick
Yeah, Sam
Fury
Jackson.
Every
Yeah,
fucking
I'll
time
wa-
he does it.
There's a
every
few
time.
actors that I'll watch every single movie they're in. Sam Jackson, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
If they're in
Yeah, me
anything, I
too.
will watch it.
I'll watch the. Oh, I've seen.
No matter what it is,
been in.
it could be
Yeah.
a serious love movie with Arnold. I'm there.
Yeah, me too, man. And Sam Jackson, like the one where he kidnaps that girl or whatever, and like teaches her how to act right and stuff. I mean that. Yeah, like I like him. He's in
Yeah,
Snakes on a Plane or whatever. I didn't miss that. Like I was in the theater for that. You know.
yeah. But there's some actors. They're so good. Like I'll watch them in anything. Arnold or Schwarzenegger, Sam Jackson. But in every movie they're in, they're just themselves.
Yeah,
Basically.
But, I mean, that's the Anthony Hopkins used to say that that's almost what you want from television acting. Like he was like TV and movie acting is not the same as theater acting when people talk about like chewing into characters and stuff like that. Like what people want out of TV is to see John McClane or the man with no name, Clint Eastwood. They want to see him in the original movie they liked him in, like Die Hard, but they also want to see John McClane in space. You know what I mean? They want to see James Bond in the original movie they liked him in. They also want to see him escape from Alcatraz. They don't, you know what I mean? So people are happy to see these actors reprise very similar characters in different settings, because those characters are interesting everywhere. That's why they succeed.
I think same goes with Robert Downey Jr. I'll watch him in anything, and he's just so charismatic. Like, he looks like a cool guy.
Yeah,
same with Ryan Reynolds.
RDJ is pretty significantly different in some movies, though.
He is basically like Tony Stark is Robert Downey Jr. If you ever see him in real life, he basically acts like that. It's just so charismatic and cool. Like, you just like,
I don't know. I feel like RDJ is a really good actor, though, and he could kind of do whatever he wants. Like
he did like, Chaplin.
I'm a dude pretending to be another dude.
He did Chaplin, and then he did Tropic Thunder. But I loved him in both.
Tropic Thunder, yeah. He was good in both Chaplin and Tropic Thunder, and he was in that lawyer movie. He's been in a lot of really good stuff, and I've seen, I think, all of it.
He's probably one of the biggest.
Different enough in some things.
Yeah, well, yeah, but he's basically almost himself in everything. But in real life, he's just Iron Man.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Scarlett Johansson is pretty significantly different in a lot of different things. Like, like she's, but the thing about her is her hotness is like, her being so good looking makes her almost into the same character in a different place, because she's just like this vision walking through the room. You know what I mean? Like, so
unlike the Vision of the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you could say the same thing for him. Vision walking through the room.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, Paul Bettany's in a lot of weird different things.
You know what I know Paul Bettany from? The Da Vinci Code. You remember him in that? And he was the albino that was whipping himself.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's where I know Paul. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my first thing that comes to my mind when you say Paul Bettany, and then Vision.
Yeah. For me, it's Master and Commander. I loved him in Master and Commander on the Far Side of the World with Russell Crowe. If you ever get a chance, watch that friggin' movie, man. It's awesome. Mm-hmm. So cool. Napoleonic Wars, Battles at Sea. They do such a good job with it. The way the music sounds, the way the dialogue, everything. It's just awesome. Yeah. Anyway.
Black Widow was awesome, right?
So Black Widow.
That's our conclusion on Black Widow. It was great.
Thumbs up. Yeah, two thumbs up out of 2. I don't know, like.
Yeah, good action, good casting, great. Solid Marvel movie. Go see it.
Yeah, go see it. If you're interested in James Bond style adventures, especially the ones where he goes to Russia, from Russia with love.
I found
this movie is for you. You know.
Yeah, it was more serious a little bit, but still had basically Florence Pugh gave all the comedic bits in the movie, and I thought those were hilarious.
Yeah, Florence and Red Guardian.
David Harbour. Yeah, he was pretty funny too.
He was really funny.
He broke the guy's hands and stuff because he said he was a punk or something.
Yeah, you say I'm a liar. So anyway, yeah.
All right, so I guess that's mostly the Black Widow stuff. So ready? I got Anthony's theories as usual with everything.
Okay, let's hear that.
So this is a deleted scene actually. So you know the scene at the very end where Elena's at the grave of Natasha and she whistles. You know when they were kids in the beginning, they show that they whistle at each other. So there's a scene where she whistles, and in the movie, no one whistles back. But in the deleted scene, someone else whistles back to her, and so that was and they kind of cut it there to leave it to leave it ambiguous. But so my theory is when Captain America brought back the Time Stones. When he brought back the Soul Stone to Vormir, you know the saying in Vormir is the soul to get the Soul Stone, it's a soul for a soul, right? So if he brings back the Soul Stone, do you get back Black Widow? Is that how? Right, a soul for a soul. So that scene that they cut could be like implying that with the whistling back.
Theory,
I like that, huh?
Jeez. I like that one.
Yeah. So then, but we got that scene that we did see. Where basically Yelena is going to go try and kill Hawkeye now. But so we know that she's in the Hawkeye show, so she's going to appear there, and that's going to be kind of the plot of at least the first couple episodes, right? So she's going to comment.
I hope she kills him.
Hawkeye's going to be like, I didn't kill her. I tried to kill myself. It's like I used my arrows to get her to not kill herself.
And I hope she's like, well, you should have been better, bitch.
That's my sister. Don't make me do the pose.
I'm gonna pose and I'm gonna fuck you up, hot bitch. Yeah.
So I guess a second kind of theory. So it's kind of about the post-credit scene. So we saw Contessa recruit a U.S. agent at the end of Winter Soldier and Falcon. I was gonna say Black Falcon. Yeah, but so we got U.S. agent, and now we see her again trying to recruit Yelena, so Black Widow. So two kind of theories. Either she's trying to form a Dark Avengers team, or what's it called? A Thunderbolts team.
Thunderbolts team. That's what I was thinking too.
So those are the two kind of options that come to my head, because right now, so we have Evil Captain America, U.S. agent. We got Yelena Belova, Black Widow. We have Abomination, which we've seen in the new Shang-Chi trailer. That Abomination is still around. So that's Abomination. You could get Justin Hammer back to be Iron Patriot, but usually Iron Patriot is Norman Osborn. But you could do that.
Justin Hammer would be just as good.
There's two that are.
That actor is awesome. The guy who plays Justin Hammer.
I can't think of his name. I love that guy. I forget his name. He's a good. So those are the four that are actually sitting. If you look at the OG Avengers, the 6, there's 4 in the universe currently. There's only 2 missing. So a Hawkeye and a Thor, and that's where they would have to bring in Bullseye and Ares, right. And you have a Dark Avengers, Thunderbolts team. So I think
Thunderbolts is led by Zemo, right?
And in Thunderbolts, you have the Thunderbolt Ross, and that's when you could bring in Red Hulk. So I think those are your 2 options, and I think going forward, that's what they're trying to do, I think.
But Zemo's closely connected with the Thunderbolts. Like, Zemo took the Thunderbolts and made them good guys, and then back to being bad guys, and then back to being
basically guys. They're kind of like the Suicide Squad. They're basically these teams do what the Avengers won't.
Sort of, yeah. Eventually, right? But at first, the Thunderbolts were just bad guy Avengers. They're like the Legion of Evil supervillains or something, like you know.
But I think that's where it's going. And then Contessa is basically your evil Nick Fury. She's like grouping them together.
Yeah, no, I love that theory. That's really awesome, and I hope that's what they're doing.
Because also if you see the more recent movies with Thunderbolt Ross, he looks kind of sickly. Like, he looks a lot thinner, and I think that's for the kind of reason they're setting up, like where he can actually turn into Red Hulk.
Red Hulk.
It's like he'll have to take the super soldier serum. It goes wrong.
The actor's also older, right? Yeah.
So you could either get Red Hulk or Abomination, but my money right now is on Abomination, because have you seen the Shang-Chi trailer?
No. Yes, I have seen it. Yeah.
At the very end, he fights Wong. That's what that scene is.
Oh, okay.
So it's like they're fighting each other for money. It's weird. It's like, does Wong really need sandwich money that bad? You remember that scene in Infinity War?
Wong would fuck people up if he needed sandwich money.
I can't wait for Shang-Chi. We're going to talk about Shang-Chi and the movies coming, but I'm really excited for that one.
Yeah, I'm pumped for that one too. And you know what? I'm one of the few people who actually liked Iron Fist. I thought it was pretty cool.
I liked Iron Fist too, up into a point.
Some stuff wasn't great, but I liked it, and I liked Defenders. But I really, how long have we've been talking for more than an hour, and I got to go to the bathroom so bad. So we either got to take a break or call it.
All right, you want to take a break? We can take a break.
Nah, I think I'd rather just call it for now.
You want to call? Okay, so next week, part 2.
Next week, part 2.
So we still have lots else to cover. So like, I showed you a Deadpool Korg commercial. I want to talk about that a bit. And then all of the movies and TV shows coming up this year and coming to next year into 2023. So we have tons of Marvel stuff to talk about. If you want to call it, we can call it here and call it for the week, or we can keep going, or we can take a break, whatever you want to do.
No, let's call it here. Because I got to go dinner, and then I gotta do some laundry and stuff. And really
no worries. I guess we're gonna call it for here. So tune in next week. We're gonna talk about the rest. We'll do the Korg, Deadpool stuff, all just lots of Marvel movies coming up. Next week. That's our episode next week too.
Don't forget to throw some money to sign your dollars when you put them in the give them to people, and hopefully one day we'll get them. Okay, bye.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in this week. Remember to follow us everywhere: Twitter, The Essential Element, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, YouTube.
As for me, McMartin, you'll never find me. Never.
I'm Anthony. Thanks for watching. See you later, guys. Bye.